Good morning, parents. How y'all doing? I am Dr. Tidwell, so I just want to give us a quick update as we move into week 6. The first thing I want to make sure we all know is that the grades will be submitted this week. So what you see right now in the grade book is the most recent update. As your students can attest, and you may have noticed, I update grades very, very frequently. So I try to make that at least a little bit easier. But let me show you a few things here too. So first and foremost, what you can definitely do is always follow me on social media. Here's my TikTok, my Instagram, and also my YouTube. I use that a lot as far as communication with the students, as far as they can ask questions and things of that nature. And my website is drtidwell3.com. That's drtidwell3.com. For this week, as far as my U.S. history classes, it's going to mainly be review. We're really going to be focusing on getting ourselves ready for our next test, which will be Thursday, which will cover standards 5 through 7, which is going to be the Constitution, Bill of Rights, Ark of Confederation, first 5 presidents, Washington through Madison, and also include Andrew Jackson and Major Jackson. So we're going to be reviewing that hard on Tuesday, Wednesday, tests on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to take a break and to kind of reanalyze, get us kind of ahead on what happened with 9/11. Students for my U.S. history class can go to my U.S. history blog right here. And the best place for them to study is if they type in the search Unit 2. And what's going to happen is the Unit 2's Cliff Notes are going to come up. These Cliff Notes are what I use to help me guide what I teach, but it's also supplementing the textbook. And it really kind of helps students really get a very clear idea of what's going on. And what I love about this is that the way I typed it up and the way I coded it is that everything is really kind of laid out to where it's pictures. So, for example, John Bull is going to be on their test coming up on Thursday. So this is an analysis of what that's dealing with as far as the World War 1812. But what your students should really be doing is they have something that's called the Unit 2 Things to Know. And at the very end of this blog post, what I have here is going to be this right here is what they should be working on. Unit 2 Things to Know. They should be writing this on their own paper. They should first get the definitions for all the vocabulary words that's going to be on the test. And then they also should be writing down the answers to this study guide. And I have here 2 videos. One video here is doing a vocabulary, and this video here that just hasn't queued up yet that's talking through the study guide. So by them watching these videos, they should be able to get all the answers, and this is immediately going to give them extra credit points on their test, anywhere between 5 to 10%. So I'm trying to force them to really do well. So all they got to do is do that. I'm going to allow you to really kind of take a second and look at what these are, because these are both on my YouTube channel. So one is just called Unit 2 Review via Vocabulary, and the other one is called Unit 2 Review via Standards. So they can look at both of those up on my YouTube channel. And again, they can access the YouTube channel right here. And there's also a link in their CTLS too. Now, for my AP and AVID students, the AP and AVID students have been doing a lot of work. They're getting ready for their PSAT, and they're also getting more accustomed to things. So on Friday and Thursday of last week, we really kind of looked more on social skills, personal skills, time management. So I asked students to look at their time management. So what I did on Friday with them is I had them really look at the whole schedule to see, okay, how many hours you get in sleep, how many hours you spend in school, and how many hours you're doing for homework. And what we know is that they're not getting any rest. They are just totally focused on school. And that's even saying that they don't have extracurricular activities. So for them to be prepared for these tests, they have to get rest. So I'm really, really pushing that hard. But this week, what we're going to be really looking at is going to be moving on in period 3. They have a first tutorial. We talked about TRFs last week. So we gave an example of how to write them. So they have their first tutorial, and TRF is going to be due on Wednesday. We're reviewing some of the AOC through Constitution, which is the beginning of period 3. And we're probably going to do a Constitution simulation tomorrow. And then we also going to start looking at the first 5 presidents through the War of 1812, which is going to really take us to the end of period 3 on Thursday. And then they're going to have a superhero project. What they have to do is pick one branch of government and draw them and make them a superhero and have a sidekick. So let's say they have a legislative branch what they're going to do is they have the House of Representatives, they have the Senate. They might focus their superhero on the House of Representatives, but of course, in this case here, their sidekick, if you will, is going to be the Senate. So that can help them really understand that really clear and good. But I will say they did very good. Majority, all the students passed the first 5 quiz on period 3, so that was good for them too. And then for my AP students, they could also go to U.S. History blog, and their stuff is gonna be a little bit different. First and foremost is that I want to make sure we just scroll down a little bit and we go here to the APUSH contract addendum. This was supposed to have been already completed by both your student and you, and hopefully they showed this to you. But it's time to now set up and sign up for the AP exam. So the AP exam, they already started the first step. They all are in AP Classroom. So the next thing they need to do is go right here using this link here to sign up for total registration. So this is the website that they will have to go to actually sign up for the AP exam. Okay. So this is where they go fill out all the information, everything like that. And then we're going to try to do this towards the end of the week before we go to break. But if you have a student that has an IEP 504, they have to fill out certain paperwork for that. So they got to make sure they fill out the form for that and then mail it into the College Board. If they need help with that, please let me or Mr. Ely know about that. The registration started again on August 31st. I want to have all our students signed up by the time we come back from break. So I want us to really be signed up. If you look here at the calendar, by October 3rd. That's going to allow us to have plenty of time to really see who's taking the test, see what's going on, because the student don't have to take the test. However, if they do not take the test, they will then have to take the midterm and final, which will be a version of the AP exam. The big difference between my test as far as being a version of the AP exam and if they take the actual AP exam is that my version will not be curved. So that could actually hurt their grade because it is 10% of their score. So the AP exam this year would be $111. Um, for the first test. If they take any kind of other exams, most of our students are not, so that should kind of help them out. Now, if they're on free and reduced lunch, there is only $15. So if your student is on that, please let me know if I can help them go to the cafeteria to get the paperwork to fill that out as well. But what I'm basically showing is that everything is here on this link as far as that denim. This is also what's sent out by Mr. Ely to help y'all out. So the students fill out this whole document, and it was already a great book for them too. Now, something else I want them to do is they go here excuse me, they have the APUSH syllabus right here. They also have the AVID syllabus here. But what I want them to do is go to the period breakdown, the APUSH period breakdowns. This is really where everything is broken down. So we just finished periods 1 and 2, which is units 1 and 2, and we're down on unit 3. This is where we are right now. So if you look here, we've already covered everything up until right now. 3 3.10. And we're going to be covered 3.10 to 3.13 between now and before we get on fall break. And we're going to finish the first semester of the class right here with period 5, which gets us to the Constitution, not the Constitution, excuse me, to the American Civil War and Reconstruction. That's the halfway point, and then we'll finish the class when we come back after the holiday break in June. So right now we're really focusing on Washington Adams administrations as well as the election 1800. And when we talk about the United States as a young nation, this is where we're finishing up at. But this is everything we're covering right now in class. So your students should definitely have homework starting back next week. I kind of gave them a break. We've been really hitting it hard. And I really, again, talk about the idea of rest. They need to have that rest. So the students always, and no matter what class I'm teaching, they always have time to get their work done in class. If they use it or not is a different question, but they always have time to make sure they can get their work done. Then lastly, for my ethnic studies class, we're moving right along into that class too. So what we're going to be getting into is going to be looking more deeper into the transatlantic slave trade, and what they have coming up is going to be a big assignment, which is going to be a Socratic debate on slavery. So we've been looking really at the voices of those who talk about slave narratives. We'll finish watching that probably tomorrow. We're probably not going to do transatlantic slave trade. But then they have a DBQ, and what they do with the DBQ is they have to make sure they analyze DBQ. And when we come back for the Socratic, they got to use at least one document to help support themselves. So this really kind of helps with civil discourse. And I'll tell the students it's not necessarily about how you feel, about what you can support. As a society could do a lot better with that. And the Socratic Smackdown it really helps with that as well. So parents, if you ever have any kind of questions or concerns, you can always email me. My email address is Wiley, WYLIE .tidwell, TIDWELL @copk12.org. And I'm here to help. I'm going to do a really good job at trying to make sure I give you guys these weekly posts because it's also good for both parents and students. And I hope this helps out. Talk to y'all later.